All right, let's crack the code on becoming a germination operator. Today's deep dive, interview prep. We're tackling the questions that can make or break your chances of getting the job.
Exactly. And we've got some seriously good intel to help you stand out. We'll be diving into RoleCatcher's Germination Operator Interview Guide, using their sample questions, plus we've got insights from their career guide as well.
And of course, we can't forget about the secret weapon, RoleCatcher's AI. We'll be looking at how it can help you craft amazing answers and even how it helps you find the perfect job in the first place.
So let's just jump right in. First up, a classic question that trips a lot of people up. What inspired you to pursue a career as a germination operator?
Yeah, it seems simple enough, but I can see how it could catch you off guard. Like, where do you even begin with that?
The key is to be genuine and specific. You want to avoid generic answers, like saying something like, oh, I just enjoy working with my hands. You've got to think about what really sparked your interest in the field.
So if someone was really drawn to the science behind germination, they could talk about how fascinating the whole biochemical transformation is, right? What actually happens during the process.
Exactly. And if someone's more hands-on, they could talk about being passionate about all the meticulous steps in managing the germination process.
Actually, you know what? The career guide highlights a great example of this. In the entry-level germination operator profile, they talk about being captivated by the transformation of barley into malt and how it's a vital role in creating the beverages people enjoy.
That's a fantastic example. It connects your personal interests to the actual role. What's so cool is that a germination operator's attention to detail, that directly impacts the final product. Think about it. If they aren't super careful, like monitoring temperature and humidity, the whole batch of malt could be messed up. Then what? It affects the taste of your favorite beer or whiskey.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. So it's not just about following the steps. It's about understanding how what you do impacts the final product.
Exactly. And you know what else can help you fine-tune your answer so it really shows your motivations? RoleCatcher's AI feedback feature.
That's a great tip. Now let's dig into a question that gets a bit more technical. Can you describe your experience with seed testing and germination procedures?
All right, now this is where your knowledge and expertise really shine. Remember those key skills the career guide highlights? Operations monitoring, production and processing, and mechanical skills. This question is all about those abilities.
Can you break those down a bit more? Like, what do those skills actually look like in action for a germination operator?
Okay, so operations monitoring, that means you're keeping a close eye on everything during the germination process. Think about it. You're meticulously tracking temperature, humidity, even CO2 levels, making sure everything stays in the right range for successful germination. You're like the guardian of the whole process, making sure it all runs smoothly.
So it's about being observant, understanding the data, knowing when to make adjustments if things go off track.
Exactly. And that leads right into production and processing. Now, this is where your knowledge of the whole germination process really matters. From choosing the right barley varieties to managing each stage, steeping, germination, and kilning. You need to understand how it all works, how to turn barley into top-quality malt.
It sounds like a complex process. You need scientific knowledge and practical skills, right?
Absolutely. And that brings us to mechanical skills. As a germination operator, you're working with all kinds of equipment. Germination vessels, kilns, conveyors, monitoring systems. You've got to be able to maintain them, troubleshoot problems, and operate them safely. That's crucial.
So even if someone hasn't worked directly with germination equipment before, they can still talk about other experiences, right? Like operating machinery in other industries, or showing they understand mechanical principles.
Yes, you got it. It's all about connecting the dots, showing the interviewer how your skills are transferable and how they make you a strong candidate.
Right. And if you need a refresher in any areas, remember, RoleCatcher has those skill guides. They're a fantastic resource. Now let's switch gears. Let's talk about a question that focuses on quality control. How do you ensure the quality and purity of the seeds during the germination process?
Okay, so this question, it's all about showing how much attention to detail you have. And your understanding of quality control procedures, remember those tasks listed in the FAQs for germination operators. Monitoring the temperature and humidity, maintaining the equipment, keeping accurate logs. These are all key for ensuring the seed quality is top-notch.
It's not just about reacting to problems when they happen. It's about being proactive, making sure they don't even happen in the first place.
Exactly. Imagine this. You see a sudden temperature spike in one of the germination vessels. What would you do? That kind of question, a scenario-based question, lets you show off your problem-solving skills and your commitment to quality.
That's a good way to show how you think, you know? Like you can think on your feet under pressure.
And guess what's an amazing tool for practicing those scenarios and building confidence? RoleCatcher's interview practice feature with AI. You can practice your answers, get feedback, and really refine your approach. So we've talked about problem solving. Let's actually dive into a question that really tests those skills. How do you troubleshoot problems that may arise during the germination process?
This one sounds tricky. Like you need technical knowledge, you got to think analytically, and stay calm when things get tough.
You hit the nail on the head. Interviewers, they want to see that you can figure out the root cause of a problem and then explore solutions, take action.
The career guide actually mentions maintaining those optimal temperature and humidity levels as one of the biggest challenges for germination operators. Seems like a perfect example to use here.
Absolutely. Let's say the humidity in one of the vessels is too high consistently. How would you tackle that?
Well, first things first. I check the humidity sensors, make sure they're calibrated right, and that there's no equipment malfunction, nothing obvious. Then I'd probably look at the data logs, see if there's a pattern or anything unusual that might be causing it.
Great start. That shows you have a systematic approach. What about solutions? What would you explore?
I guess it depends what's causing it, right? But maybe I'd adjust the ventilation or check the barley's moisture content or even, talk to the maltster, get their guidance.
See? You're thinking critically, taking initiative, you're showing the interviewer you can handle it. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can give you feedback on your problem solving, help you refine those answers, and impress that hiring manager.
Good point. Okay, let's move on to a skill that's super important for lots of jobs, Germination Operator included. Can you describe your experience with data analysis and record keeping?
This one, it might seem straightforward, but it's your chance to show how detail-oriented you are and how you can actually use data to improve the whole germination process.
The Germination Operator FAQs, they really emphasize accurate data logging for tracking germination rates, identifying trends, making sure the quality is good.
Right. So instead of just saying, oh, I'm good with Excel, think about specific examples where you've used data analysis skills to actually make a difference.
So let's say someone used to track production metrics at their old job. They could talk about using spreadsheets to find bottlenecks or to pinpoint areas where things could be better, right?
Perfect example. You're not just saying it, you're showing it. With real examples, you're giving the interviewer a clear picture.
And this is where RoleCatcher's CV Resume Builder can help. The AI can make sure your resume highlights those data analysis skills, so it catches the employer's eye.
Absolutely. Speaking of essential skills, let's talk safety. How do you ensure compliance with safety regulations during the germination process? That's a common one.
Safety first, right? It's huge in any industrial setting. And those Germination Operator FAQs, they talk about sticking to the rules, wearing the right gear, doing the safety training.
You have to show them you get it, that you prioritize safety. Research those procedures, the ones specific to malting facilities. And be ready to give examples from your past roles, how you kept things safe.
Like if someone worked in manufacturing and they had to follow strict safety protocols for the machinery, they could share that, show their commitment.
Exactly. Okay, now let's switch gears again to a question about your, proactive learning mindset. How do you stay up to date on industry trends and advancements in germination technology?
This is where your passion shows, I think. Your curiosity. The career guide talks about attending conferences, joining organizations, reading those trade publications to stay in the loop.
All great ways to stay current. You don't want to just be okay with how things are. You're actively learning, trying to stay ahead of the game.
And RoleCatcher's Career Compass. It's a great way to find those courses, workshops, organizations to keep learning and growing.
It is. And remember, this industry, it's always evolving. New technologies popping up, innovations, research those things, and be ready to talk about them, how they might impact the germination process.
Like AI, for example, and machine learning. There's a lot of buzz about using those to optimize germination and improve molt quality.
That's it. Showing you're aware of the trends, thinking critically, that impresses the interviewer. Now, this next question, it might not apply to everyone, especially if you're just starting out. Can you describe your experience with managing a team of germination operators?
Right. This was probably more for those going for leadership roles, supervisory positions.
Yep. But even if you haven't officially been a manager, you can still talk about times when you showed leadership.
So you could mention a time you took the lead on a project or mentored a colleague or delegated tasks well as part of a team.
Absolutely. Those are all examples of leadership in action. But if you do have management experience, be prepared to share real examples, how you motivated your team, handled conflicts, got results.
And RoleCatcher can help here too. They have resources to help you learn about leadership in the malting industry, so you can tailor your answers, show you understand the specific challenges and opportunities.
That's a great point. Okay, let's get to a question that might seem a little, I don't know, unexpected. How would you handle a situation where a customer is dissatisfied with the quality of the seeds?
This one's interesting because, germination operators, they don't usually deal directly with customers.
It's true. But interviewers often ask these types of questions to see how professional you are, your problem-solving skills, how you handle customers.
So it's not really about the seeds themselves. It's more about, like, how you'd handle a tough situation, keep things positive, even if there's a complaint.
Exactly. Think about a time you had to deal with a complaint or resolve a conflict, even if it was in a totally different setting. How did you approach it? What did you do to make sure things turned out okay?
I'm guessing they're looking for things like, active listening, empathy, staying calm, focusing on solutions.
You got it. Those are all good skills. They show you can handle those tricky situations professionally and effectively.
Even if a germination operator isn't dealing directly with customers all the time, those skills are still helpful, right? When you're working with colleagues, suppliers, even management.
Absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears one last time. Let's talk about some career insights from the Germination Operator Career Guide. What's really cool about this field is the potential for growth. You can really move up.
It's true. The guide shows a clear career path. You start with entry-level roles, and then you can move up to lead operator positions. You could even go into areas like maltster or quality control specialist.
That's right. And it doesn't stop there. You get more experience, keep learning. You could even end up in research and development, helping to innovate and improve the whole malting process.
It's not just a job then, it's a whole career with different paths and opportunities to grow.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher's resources, they can help you explore those related career paths. You can discover how your skills can open doors to even more possibilities in the industry.
That's really cool. It shows that this role can be like a starting point for a really fulfilling career. Okay, before we move on, I want to touch on RoleCatcher again and all those AI-powered tools.
We've talked about a lot of interview questions today, and RoleCatcher, it can really help you prepare.
We've mentioned some features already, like the interview practice with AI, the CV resume builder, and the career compass.
Those are just a few examples of how RoleCatcher can help you stand out. But what's really amazing is that their AI can actually look at job descriptions and tell you how to tailor your resume and your answers. So you're highlighting the right skills and experiences for each specific role.
It's like having a career coach right there in your pocket, guiding you through it all.
That's a great way to put it. And that personalized help can make a huge difference in getting noticed by recruiters and landing that dream job.
Plus, don't forget the job matching feature. RoleCatcher can analyze your skills and experience and then suggest jobs that fit your goals. Saves you a ton of time and effort in your search.
You got it. So RoleCatcher isn't just about nailing the interview. It's about finding the right jobs in the first place and setting yourself up for success in the malting industry.
Now, before we move on to the next section, I want to talk about something else important: competency-based interview questions.
Ah, yes. These are the questions that are all about your skills and how you've actually used them in real situations. They often start with things like, tell me about a time when, or give me an example of.
So it's not just about what you know, it's about like how you've used that knowledge in the past.
Exactly. They want you to think back on your experiences and give them real examples that show your skills in action.
The Germination Operator Interview Guide, they obviously give a great tip for these questions. Use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. It helps you tell your story in a structured way. Show off your skills and the good results you got.
That's great advice. And hey, don't forget about RoleCatcher's Competency Interviews directory. It's awesome for practicing these types of questions and getting better at telling those stories.
It'll boost your confidence for sure.
Yeah.
And make sure you're ready to wow the hiring manager with your experiences and what you've accomplished.
It really is. You want to show them what you can do and how your experience matches what they're looking for.
And even if you haven't been a germination operator before, you can still use experiences from other jobs, right, to show you have those key skills and qualities.
Oh, definitely. The ability to learn new things, adapt, use your knowledge in different situations, that's super valuable in any industry. And the malting industry is no exception.
So true. All right, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Oh, okay. I like it. Hit me with that question.
What makes you stand out? What unique skills or experiences do you bring to the table that would make you a fantastic germination operator?
That's a great question to ask yourself. It helps you figure out what your strengths are. What makes you different?
Think about what sets you apart. Maybe it's your incredible attention to detail, or your love for the science behind germination. Maybe you're a problem-solving master, or you've got experience in a fast-paced production environment.
Don't forget those soft skills either. Communication, teamwork, being positive. Those are essential for any job, especially one where you're working closely with others.
You're right. Enthusiasm and passion. They matter just as much as your technical skills. So to everyone listening who's ready to jump into this exciting world of germination operators, cheers to your success.
Cheers! And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there for you every step of the way, building that amazing resume, acing those interviews, navigating your career in the malting industry.
And that's a wrap for our deep dive into the world of germination operators. We hope you found it helpful, fun, maybe even a little inspiring.
Until next time, keep those brains working and never stop learning.